Your Royal Highness, Minister colleagues, and all dear activists and athletes around the globe. Sports is all about playing, the fun and friendship. Everyone should have the opportunity to participate in sport according to their own ambitions, needs, and level of ability. It follows from this that sport must be inclusive and reach out to everybody, regardless of socioeconomic or ethnic background, regardless of sex, skin color, religious belief, disabilities or sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression and sex characteristics. These are the core values of sport. It is therefore of utmost importance that sport clubs offer an inclusive environment where everybody can feel safe, seen, and accepted for who they are. Racism, discrimination, and harassment, no matter grounds, has no place in sport, or in the rest of the society for that matter. The phenomenon of sport is important to hundreds of millions of people around the globe. Therefore, what happens in and around sport is often a manifestation of attitudes and policies in the society at large. There has been controversies regarding LGBTIQ+ equality in several countries during the European Football Championship this summer. We have all seen it. Also, the world was exposed to the very same negative attitudes some 10 days ago when the national female basketball team, the Belgian Cats, returned to Brussels. During a live broadcast on the return of the Olympic medalists, a conversation was suddenly heard in which a commentator made derogatory remarks about members of the team. The microphones were still on, causing the sexist and homophobic statements to be broadcast without the journalist realizing it. A recording of the conversation quickly went viral on Twitter. Several top athletes reacted indignantly about the attitudes of the VRT employees. Disrespectful, painful, and offensive, Belgian cat player Hanne Mestdag called the tone that the journalist struck. I agree, and I am sure all of you agree as well. The TV station VRT has now dismissed the journalist, and it shows that the call for a cultural change also in sport journalism is loud. And I regret to say, we see many of these same attitudes among the fans and within the clubs too. In order to really make sure sport is inclusive and open to everybody, sport governing bodies, as well as clubs and individuals, can and must do much more to combat discrimination and harassment. At the individual and club level, I think it is important to talk about these issues, break some taboos, and agree on what is acceptable behavior. I also believe in the importance of role models. The influential force of athletes, especially famous ones, coming out and declaring oneself as LGBTIQ person is significant and has such a powerful effect. During the Tokyo Olympics, more than 180 openly LGBTQ athletes were competing. One of them, yes. I was very lucky to be there, and one of them were British diver Tom Daley, who says he's proud to be able to inspire other people as an openly gay athlete. But Daley is quickly to add that global sports still have a long way to go to achieve acceptance and embrace diversity. And it is also a reminder that sport is and must be inclusive and open to everybody. On the higher organization level, I think important stepping stones on the road to fulfilling the core value of sport is more open, transparent, inclusive, and democratic sport organizations, both on national and at least also on international level. An organization that is truly democratic when there are open decision-making processes where everybody can have their voice heard includes conditions that ensures minority their rights, including LGBTIQ equality. But my friends, we all know it's a long way to go when it comes to outdated and old views and values. Just think of the women's sand handball team from Norway, who was fined for wearing something they were comfortable with rather than the smallest underwear. It's about the right to choose, and I call upon the international sport organizations to make a change on all levels for gender and for LGBTIQ persons. I am the Minister of Sports in Norway, but I'm also Minister of Equality. And I will use this opportunity to also call upon the political and religious leaders of the world to open up, to create and give everybody freedom. In countries where there is discrimination against one minority group, you will often have prejudice growing in the society against many other minority groups as well. We need to combat all sorts of discrimination based on color or gender, disability, LGBTIQ, and other backgrounds. I met so many political leaders and religious leaders, and they go like, "Oh, we are in favor of gender equality, but not when it comes to women's right to divorce or pro-choice." Or you meet others who say, "Oh, we are in favor of religious freedom, but not the right to convert." Or I have even met people who say, "We are okay with gay people, but just not their gayness. Don't live out the gayness." And I would just say, come on, political leaders and religious leaders, just stop being prejudiced. Just embrace freedom. You're going to be so much happier when you're going to embrace freedom, aren't they? And I would like to conclude my speech with the words of our Norwegian king. His Majesty said in one of his famous speeches, "Norwegians are girls who love girls, boys who love boys, and boys and girls who love each other. Norwegians believe in God, in Allah, everything and nothing." My friends, I believe there are many lessons from the king's speech. Thank you all.